Hello, hello, hello. Good Tvach, everyone. Just celebrated Rosh Chodesh Iyar, which is a very auspicious month for health, and the medicines are working better during the month of May, Iyar May. That is Rabbeinu said Sichos Haran. So, Bezrat Hashem, we'll get to it. We're starting with Sipurey Baal Shem that, and it says as follows. Baal Shem Tov said thusly, I have arranged it so by HaKadosh Baruch Hu that when a person is tovel dunks himself in a mikveh in the morning, it'll be considered before HaKadosh Baruch Hu like a one-day fast. And we'll just read another little story regarding that, so that once the Baal Shem Tov was in the field with his students, he met there Harav Yosef. I'm not sure who this Rav Yosef was, that used to fast a lot. So Baal Shem Tov gave him a Shalom Aleichem as if he knew him for a long time, even though he never met him before. Baal Shem Tov told Rav Yosef, why are you fasting so much? So he answered, in order to subdue the physicality of the material of the body. At that time, one of the Talmidei Baal Shem was standing there davening mincha. Now you're talking about Talmidei Baal Shem Tov. Under one of the tree, the Baal Shem Tov told him, through a davening, by davening like the tefillah kind of like this person, this Talmud is davening, this is how you beat down the physicality of the material body. And from then on, this Rav Yosef became connected to the Baal Shem HaKadosh. So besides the fact alone that we're talking about koich of the mikveh and the school of the mikveh and everything, mikveh is a miraculous thing in and on itself, because a person that goes into 40 cubits of water that are not drawn but natural or halachically consist of mayim she'enim shruvim. Something really miraculous happened in the sense that physically, something small occurs. But spiritually, it is affecting an incredibly, how shall I say it, incredibly revolutionary situation. What is happening when a person dunks himself into a body of water? The only thing that happens is he can't breathe. That's it. He stays inside, and then he gets up. What is happening there? Torah says that this dunking in the mikveh, immersing in the mikveh, that's the way that a woman gets out of a state of nida, and this is how, all the people who became defiled in one way or another, ultimately they finished their tikkun, their rectification, by dunking themselves in a mikveh. So even So what is so special, as it were, about toiveling in a mikveh that creates a passage that is the doorway between defilement and sanctity? What is this about? The answer is very surprising. The single property of water that is at play here is the fact that the person cannot breathe in them. So what happens is that when a person covers himself in water and he goes into a place that he cannot breathe, dafka in a minimal size of 40 cubits, it is considered spiritually as if he died. That stopping to breathe is a spiritual death, as it were, rather an end to his life until that instant. And when he gets out of the water, he's reborn. He starts breathing again, and it's like he's living anew. You know that a ger cannot become Jewish before he travels in the mikveh. And the Chazal says a very poignant way of saying it, as so when a ger, before he travels, he has to be circumcised. When he travels, he says, "A perish min ha'oil," somebody who leaves behind the existence of being a Gentile and entering that gate. Kaperish min ha'kever is like somebody who is leaving the grave. In other words, it's mamish, a resurrection. Spiritually, every time that you dunk yourself in the mikveh, it is considered that you have died in your previous state. Your previous state has come to an end, and you are reborn into a new state. That's why tzaddikim keep on going to the mikveh again and again and again. Rabbi Yossi used to go twice a night. And the Rebbe Rebbe used to travel like all the time, a few times a day. And Dora Chaim HaKodesh, they said that every time that that he would go, to go to the wash closet, water closet, he would, travel in the mikveh. And if it was a number two, he also changed all his clothing. Because the main inyan that we need to, the main issue that we need to enforce in this world is the fact that you have to, in the Avodas Hashem, you have to begin anew, brand new. You can very easily find yourself in a situation that maybe you don't feel so well, and you can be in a spiritual lull. Sometimes you can be in a spiritual, dip, or feel as if you were thrown out altogether. The answer is always get up and start again. Even in this world, the difference between somebody who's successful and somebody who's not successful is the successful person is somebody who failed more times because he began all over again. Somebody who is a failure, who's a loser, okay, you failed. Okay, what do you want? I didn't succeed. It means not all succeeds. Somebody who is a success, okay, I failed, and get up, and eventually, I will succeed. It's just it's like, those who, sell in Wall Street, and they say, they sell stocks or options, whatever it is they do. They can go through, dozens and dozens of calls until they manage to make a sale. And their psychology, in order to be able to withstand this, is with every call that I'm failing, I'm one call closer to a sale. I'm one step closer to a sale. So with every beginning that you do, you're one step closer. And so mikveh basically means a rebirth. Now the thing is that the Baal Shem Tov is caused. He says that when a person toils, it's considered as if he fasted the entire day. Comes to show you the incredible strength that tzaddikim have. They have the wherewithal to create a situation where if you do one thing, which is going to the mikvah, which in itself is very, very powerful, we continue this if you actually fasted an entire day. Because Ritzon Rabbi Yaseh, whatever it is that those who are Yerushalayim want in this world, because Baruch Hu brings to fruition, because Baruch Hu makes it so. Many times you wonder, doesn't mean me as well. Yeah, it means you too. And it means many, many more times than you think that it actually happened. It has happened. And it's still happening. In fact, if you were to know what is the power of you dunking in a mikveh, or you saying, I wish that things were like this, or things were like that, and I would like things to be this way. I'd like to learn Blat Gemara. I'd like to do this. I'd like to do that. And it happens, it seems like, oh, okay. Because Baruch Hu answered. Because Baruch Hu answered me. It happens all the time. You are in direct contact with the Kodesh Baruch Hu. And it's a two-way street all the time. This brings us, B'ezrat Hashem, to the Sichos Haran of this week. Let's take a quick look here and see what we're talking about. We are today at Sicha 305. And it says, this is something that it's a motif, it's a Sicha that Rabbeinu has already said quite a few times before. And he says, Tana Devei Eliyahu, Devei Rabbi Shmuel said, Divrei Torah, the task of learning Torah. Lo yeh alecha choivo. Don't consider it to be as like it's an obligation, can't believe I have to carry that yoke. Yeta rasha lifta etzmecha mehen. And you are not allowed, you don't have the privilege to say, okay, listen, I don't need to do it. And he says, this is a tremendous advice to somebody who understands it, even as much as, even a little. And basically, this is exactly what it is that we have been talking until now. You need to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You need to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu. This is your job. Learn as much as you can, or as little as you can. Daven as much as you can, or as little as you can. There is a very delicate balance that you have to keep between I can't do and I must do. That the must will not bury the can't, and the can't won't override the fact that you must do it. It's like imagine yourself, somebody who's swimming in the sea. I don't know, shipwreck, whatever it is, swimming in the sea. So you're trying to swim, I don't know, to an island there or whatever. Okay? So you're swimming. You're going to become tired. You can't swim no more. So you rest. But you have to keep on swimming. You can't stay in the water. But nevertheless, you can't swim all the time because you'll drown. You'll become exhausted and you'll drown. So it is a balance that you swim as much as you can, and you rest a little bit, and get your koiches, and swim again, and then rest, then swim again. The same thing applies to serving Kodesh Baruch. You can't do it right now. Rest and start again. Rest and start again. Rest and start again. Those who are, mighty and heroes, they can do it. Okay, so they can just go against the grain, all the time and butt their head against an iron door. Fine. If you can do it, do it. I personally can't do it. And, I'm talking to people all like me. I get tired and I can't see myself going another step. So I rest a little bit and then I start again. And I rest a little bit and then I start again. And that's the way it's done. Baruch Hu B'ezrat Hashem should be mizakayas, first to have emunas chachamim, and all the tzaddikim and the koach that they koach in order to make even small things, efforts on our part, as big effort. That's point number one. Point number two, that Hashem, we should be zoicha to tevel mikveh. Again and again and again. It's a great thing. It's a rebirth. And thirdly, B'ezrat Hashem should be zoicha to start again. To rest and start again. To rest and start again. To rest and start again. I have absolutely no idea why this camera keeps on zooming in and zooming out, but this is the name of the game. What can you do? Here they go. B'ezrat Hashem should have a good week and a good month and a lot of happiness, a lot of simcha, a lot of health to us and to Klal Yisrael and the entire world. B'ezrat Hashem. Kol tov and be mitzliach with everything.